Hello and welcome to SatTV Week, the news programme for the international satellite industry. In this week's programme, Tricia looks at the latest launch contracts and Gabby has the news headlines. But first, the Isle of Man's space industry was singled out for praise in a major report presented at the Institute of Directors in London on the 18th of May. The report, entitled Space, Britain's New Infrastructure Frontier, was presented to a sellout audience of over 100 key players from the British space industry. The report, which is authored by Dan Lewis, Chief Executive of the Economic Policy Centre, Chief Executive of Future Energy Strategies and Energy Policy Advisor to the IOD, contains a full section on the Isle of Man space industry, entitled The Isle of Man's Mighty Space Sector. It highlights the island's ability to innovate, embracing new and growing industries. Like many micronations, the Isle of Man has a history of quickly adapting to fast-emerging industries, from fishing to banking to financial supervision to the film industry to e-gaming and e-commerce, and now space. It puts much of the island's success down to achieving a cluster effect of major companies. The report also highlighted the island's homegrown space champion, Mansat, and its role in orbital filing with Ofcom, in addition to the presence of the Space Data Association on the Isle of Man, who just a week prior had held a successful workshop with the International Institute of Space Commerce, with participants from the US and Europe. Attending the event from the island were Tim Crane, Director of Business Development at the Department of Economic Development, in his capacity as a trustee of the International Institute of Space Commerce, and also John Sheath, Chartered Director and Fellow of the IOD, the IISC Company Secretary.
Euroconsult has announced the launch of its latest research report, Hosted Payloads, The View from Within. Following discussions with the Hosted Payload Alliance, Euroconsult decided to pursue development of the report in order to identify and assess corresponding and conflicting perspectives from the key stakeholder groups directly involved in hosted payload programs. Based on an exhaustive survey, the views of 8 key stakeholder groups were examined on the basis of risks, opportunities, challenges and requirements related to hosted payloads. Susan Irwin, president of Euroconsult USA, told SatTV, "We have completed more than 40 interviews with both industry and government representatives for our stakeholder survey and 5 in-depth case studies on US, European and Asia-Pacific hosted payloads." Although the hosted payload concept dates back to the early 70s, it has only recently turned into a hot debate, with the establishment of industry associations such as the Hosted Payload Alliance augmenting awareness of the benefits of hosted government payloads on commercial satellites. In parallel, leading industry players are heavily promoting their own hosted payload capability. Due to budget restraints, government agencies around the world are increasingly open to adopting the hosted payload concept. As a result, the requirements for government and industry related to hosted payloads are converging. Eutelsat's Hotbird satellite TV neighbourhood at 13 degrees east and the Eutelsat 5 West A satellite at 5 degrees west has been selected by beIN Sport to broadcast its 2 new channels for the French market, beIN Sport 1 and beIN Sport 2. beIN Sport 1 is on track for launch on June 1 and will show premium coverage of the UEFA Euro 2012 Championship from June 8. Its sister channel, beIN Sport 2, will follow this summer. The contract with Eutelsat follows beIN Sport's acquisition of France's Professional Football League and UEFA Championships League rights and many other premium sports for the French market. favouring 2 satellite TV positions, already well anchored in French TV homes, will enable beIN Sport 1 and 2 to optimise their reach from day one and ensure the highest broadcast quality for live and exclusive viewing of premium sports. Comtech EF Data Corporation has announced the availability of IEEE 1588v2 Precision Time Protocol hardware support for its flagship modem, the CDM625 Advanced Satellite Modem. The CDM625 is the satellite industry's first modem to provide hardware support for PTP, which significantly improves the synchronization accuracy when backhauling over satellite. Globally, mobile operators are migrating backhaul to packet transport to support the evolution towards higher speed packet access. PTP has emerged as a key network technology to synchronize frequency, time and phase over a packet network. The CDM625 with PTP facilitates unprecedented synchronization accuracy for satellite-based 2G and 3G mobile backhaul over packet networks.
Intelsat has signed the first commercial contract for a Falcon Heavy rocket launch. Under the agreement, an Intelsat satellite will be launched into geosynchronous transfer orbit by SpaceX's rocket, which in terms of power is second only to the Apollo-era Saturn V moon rocket. The Falcon Heavy is capable of lifting 53 metric tonnes into LEO and over 12 metric tonnes into GTO. According to Thierry Guillen, Intelsat CTO, the company's support of successful new entrants into the commercial launch industry reduces risk, adding that the company will work closely with SpaceX as the Falcon Heavy completes rigorous flight tests prior to our future launch requirements. The Sea Launch and Energia Logistics team have initiated the automated L72-hour launch countdown sequence at its equatorial launch site on May the 28th, in preparation for the launch of the Intelsat 19 communications satellite. Launch operations are now underway at the equator at 154 degrees west longitude. The Sea Launch Commander is positioned alongside the launch platform Odyssey, with the two vessels periodically connected by a link bridge that facilitates foot traffic between the vessels. A day before liftoff, the Zenit 3SL rocket will be erected on the launch pad for final tests of the launch system and spacecraft prior to start of the terminal countdown.